Hi everyone. Hope everybody is well, everybody's good. Um, I don't want to go long on this one. Just a thought that I wanted to share with you guys, and I want you also to question it and think about it. Okay, so where do I start? I guess the question is, why does God not want us to worship idols? Why does God want us to focus only on Him and no one else? And why would He give us this message, knowing very well that we know that He is God, and throughout the ages, everyone knows that there's a higher power, the Creator, and that's who everyone prays to at some point. But then we are living in an era where now we realize that everybody prays to different entities, and they can say God, but meaning they are God and not the actual God who is in heaven, who's the creator, who's God of Israel, God of Abraham, who's God of Isaac and Jacob. Here's my theory, okay? Throughout the ages, and let's look at Egypt, for instance. Through history, growing up at school, we were taught about Egypt and the pyramids, and that there were drawings, and we know that drawings on walls in caves, just like cavemen or the Khoisan, they drew because that was a form of telling a story. So it's storytelling. But then, as we investigate further, we realize that in Egypt they had gods, and that the deeper we dug, we realize that there are different types of entities, and these gods Egyptians believe in, and somehow with the shifting of continents, um, most of the religious beliefs of Egypt, somehow merged with the Americans. I mean, basically, what I'm saying is, with the continents shifting and going apart according to what we were taught at school. We're not sure if this is true, but according to what we were told at school, continents are spread apart, and in between there are oceans that divide us. And somehow Mexico and Egypt are the same thing. You look at Mexicans, they have certain beliefs or rituals they do that are derived from Egyptian culture. So I always say that every time I talk about something, I want you all to also research it, because everyone has access to research, and I believe it's your right to know the truth, and you need to go and dig as well and see the things that I say, whether they're true or not. Okay, but yeah, somehow Mexico and Egypt have the same sentiments when it comes to religion, cultural beliefs, occultic practices, and all of that. And we see most of Egyptian mythology spread out through the United States. And, on the world stage, we have the elites in different categories, can be political, sports, cultural, pop culture, So that will be your music, your arts. Then we have the pharmaceuticals or medicine. And then we have the food sector. And then we have the clothing or textile or fashion part, right? So there are different categories, and in each of these um, sectors I've spoken about or mentioned, there are always people sitting at the top. But somehow, the one that pops up, the one that is more influential, rather, is circular music. So the pop culture, fashion industry, and politics, we could say, because it deals with people, on a regular. I mean, for people to unwind, for people to get together, for people to relax or to de-stress or declutter the mind, where do they turn to? To entertainment, don't they? For people to stimulate confidence, to stimulate your self-esteem, where do you run to? You run to fashion. Why? Because then once you look a certain way, you feel good, people respect you better, and they perceive you in a different way. And when I say fashion, it's not just clothing, but also interior design, also the automobile industry, the architectural or building, or maybe what's this other word? Okay, it just slipped my mind. I'll remember. Um, but it has to do with housing, property sector, for lack of a better word to use, because once you have a beautiful home, once you drive a beautiful car, once you dress a certain way, and maybe the beauty industry, once you look a certain way and smell a certain way, and then you tap into entertainment, once you hang out with the popular guys. I still have flu. Akusayinaga, akusanataba leona, But anyway, yeah, the company you keep, then people turn to respect you. And somehow respect then is turned into worship. And then you kind of idolize someone. So we go back to the beginning, where the devil was sent out of heaven with his group, and it's 33, it's 33,000, 333,000, if I have my maths correct. Sometimes I confuse it, but yeah, angels that were sent out of heaven, or it's 333 million angels, something big. I'll fix it. I'll check again. I always get my maths confused, because I know there are 33,000 gods that people believe or worship in India, 33 million, so the number confuses me. But anyway, um, all of those, that group was sent out with the devil, and we know that angels are eternal, they immortal. They're not mortal like us humans, who have an immortal soul, and when the mortal part of humanity dies, the immortal lives on, which is the soul. So these angels are still there till today. They haven't perished, they haven't been judged yet, and they were here on earth. So where do you think they're hiding? Where do you think they are right now, if you think about it? We also know that Jesus Christ healed a man that was possessed, not even just one person, but a lot of people. He healed who were possessed by demonic entities, and he healed them, and these demons, left their bodies. So we understand that demons are spirits, and then they need a host, which is the body, so they can dwell inside the host. So we've had celebrities throughout centuries from the beginning until, we've read books on about Julius Caesar. We've read books written by William Shakespeare, and that's in like centuries ago. We know about Pharaoh. He was a celebrity. He was worshipped by his people, and so much more. So many of them, I can't think of them right now from the top of my head, but so many, right? Your Constantine, who was a ruler, yeah, and until Queen Elizabeth, and throughout ages, and we have your popular people who are musicians today, and I'm sure there were musicians back then who would entertain the kings and queens and people, and what a fish paste. So, okay, where am I going with this? So, with the current celebrities in our era, I'm from the 80s, and some of you are from the 70s or 60s, and then we have the new ones, 90s, and our 2000 generation. And each generation has their celebrity. For instance, Tina. Now, I'm talking about normal things of the world, where before we even were serious about our salvation, growing up, we were influenced, in the 80s, we were influenced by your Tupacs, your Mariah Careys, your Tony Braxtons, your Biggies, and so on and so forth. And then I know in the 70s and 60s, I know my brother was so into Anita Baker and them. My sister grew up listening to Brenda Fassie and them. You know what I mean? And whatever. And my dad had his generation and era of people they listened to. And now the 90s were into your Duma Silelas and TKZs. I'm making examples here. And now our kids are listening to, I don't know them. But I made an example with that one, Lil Uzi Vert, or whatever his name is, and you look through the generations, and um, every time, like, I'll make an example with me growing up. I really liked certain artists, and in the magazine, if you would buy Drum magazine growing up, you would find inside the magazine there would be a double spread page of a poster of an artist you like. And I remember I found one of Mdu Masilela, and I put it on the wall. That was what we used to do in the 80s and 90s. But now that we're living in current times, you just download and you have these people on your phones, and even the phone as well is something that connects you to the world, so you can't live without it. So what I'm saying is that my first question was, why would God say we shouldn't idolize if we know that he is the main God, and we pray to him? And then now that we are in this reality, we have learned that people not only pray to God, some don't even believe in the creator, some are atheists, some are scientists, some believe in the devil himself. And then the world stage is spread with these celebrities that I'm talking about. But as I made an analogy that you we saw in the Bible that Jesus used to take out demons from people. So we established that demons dwell in a body. So now, when these celebrities we watch on TV and we hear things like I sold my soul to the devil, and we know that there were 330 something million or billion or trillion angels that came out of heaven that were sent out with the devil, and they haven't died and they are dwelling this planet, where do you think they are? When you sit down and think long and hard, where are they? You, are they hiding away somewhere, waiting for punishment? Or, sorry, I don't know. I think Avalash that's ready to jump into my eye and cause my eye to itch heavily. But anyway, where do you think there are these people? Um, so my theory is that they are hiding in plain sight, and these demons that, or these fallen angels that we think are invisible, are actually literally in your face every day, on your phones daily, on your TV sets on a daily. And believe it or not, you are idolizing them, because when you scroll on YouTube or on TikTok, or you read the papers and you find a story, or you see a short clip of video on whoever it might be that's your favorite celebrity, you click on it and you sit and watch. When you hear that Mary J. Blige is coming to South Africa, you go, you buy the tickets, you go, you scream and watch them sing. And when you're watching them, like the Grammys or a concert of whoever, and you see that they have a stadium full of people, millions of people who bought tickets to watch them. And when Michael Jackson is performing on stage, people scream, ah, ah. They faint and cry. And they have thingy papers ready for signatures, so that they have this celebrity's autograph on their whatevers, and they mount it on the wall and frame it, you know um and you think that's just normal. You like someone, that is idol worship. But my worry is, it's not even Michael Jackson anymore, it's the entity inside. Because the devil was in charge of music, we know this. He was in charge of the arts department, creatives, and that's why those that are into creativity, fashion, those that are into music, those that are into creating certain things like medicines, pharmaceuticals, spells, potions, they have an influence, and who's their leader is Lucifer, who's sitting at the top, and they making billions and billions of money, and we worship them, we respect them simply because they have the car, the clothes, the house, the looks, the hair, the friends, the worship of the world. That's why we are programmed to respect someone who's got money. That's why we are programmed to respect someone who pops up on TV, popularity. That's why everybody today wants to have likes, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, or on whatever platform, social platform, those that are craving for likes, because once you have the higher ranking, then you are popular, you are more easy to influence, and that's how then you get calls from people that are in secret societies and say, hey, aren't you interested to make more money out of the 50 million people that follow you? And then you are now famous, and then you are idolized, and it's easy for an entity to come into you, and you are now possessed by a fallen angel. Because why were they sent out of heaven? They were sent out of heaven simply because they wanted to be worshipped. They didn't want to worship God. So it goes back to the beginning of my video when I said, why then do you think God said we shouldn't idolize? Because we are worshiping the fallen angels. I understand. And there's so many other things we can idolize and worship without even thinking about it. I made an example with the phone. You have access to your phone, and your phone is like an opening to the world. So right now I'm able to text my friend who's in Nigeria, and we can talk at any time. I'm able to talk to someone who is in Antarctica at any time of the day. I have friends in Atlanta in America, and I'm able to talk to them and say, yo, what's up? When are you coming through? I have friends all over the world that I can talk to through the phone, and without my phone, I go insane.